The lights are out for good. Your assets are inventoried. Your perimeter is secure. You think you're ready. You're wrong. A fatal oversight inside your own stronghold could get your unit neutralized faster than any external threat. When the grid dies, your home becomes the front line in a biological war you never saw coming. This is your tactical briefing to neutralize that threat. Modern life has given us a dangerous blind spot. You flush a handle, and the evidence of our most vulnerable biological state is gone. You turn a tap, and potable water appears on command. We've become so dependent on this automated system that we've forgotten the ironclad laws of nature it held back. When the power is cut, when the pumps stop, those laws come crashing back with lethal force. Suddenly, the most private room in your house is the most dangerous. It's no longer a bathroom, it's a biological minefield. It is ground zero. This isn't speculation. After-action reports from disaster zones tell the same grim story. Diarrheal diseases are a leading cause of death when society collapses. These outbreaks aren't sparked by some exotic pathogen. They are ignited by the things we leave behind every single day when there is no system to take them away. This is the simple, terrifying mistake that cripples even prepared families. They underestimate the enemy already inside the wire. Let's run a scenario. The grid has failed. It's day 3. You're a prepper. You did the drills. You filled the bathtubs with water, though maybe you forgot to line them first, a critical error. You have a bucket system in the garage. The unit is using it, but then an oversight. Your son uses the bucket, then washes his hands with some of the grey water you collected from washing vegetables. It looked clean. A few hours later, your daughter makes sandwiches on the same counter where a container of that grey water sat, maybe a little splashed out. By day 7, the attack begins. The youngest starts, fever, vomiting, debilitating diarrhea. Then it spreads. Your unit is weak, dehydrated, and facing a medical emergency with no 911. The enemy wasn't a looter. The enemy was a microscopic army of fecal bacteria that moved from your makeshift latrine to your hand-washing station to your rations. That is cross-contamination. It is the silent sickness. It is how the biological war begins, not with a bang, but with a tragic error in hygiene. The moment the grid fails, the clock starts ticking. Water and sewage treatment plants depend on massive, constant electrical power. Without it, pumps fail. Disinfection systems go dark. Backflow preventers, the valves stopping sewage from coming back up the pipes, give way. Within hours or days, raw sewage can flood city streets and back up into the pipes, leading directly to your home. Any water trickling from your tap is a game of Russian roulette. It might look clear, but it could be contaminated. After major hurricanes in the United States, breakdowns in sanitation have led to confirmed outbreaks of norovirus and salmonella. The threat is compounded by a new variable: pests. Unsealed human waste is a dinner bell for rats and roaches. These vectors carry their own portfolio of diseases. Rats can carry leptospirosis, causing kidney failure and death. Their droppings can carry hantavirus, a severe respiratory killer. Your fortress now has an internal rot, an invisible threat, multiplying with every hour and every misstep. The mistake is assuming the danger is only outside. The reality is, once the grid is down, your own sanitation is the most immediate and deadly threat you face. Biological war is not an exaggeration. It is precisely what you are fighting. Your opponent is an invisible, relentless army of pathogens whose only mission is to replicate. In a world without sanitation, your stronghold is their perfect battlefield. Let's be blunt about their weapons. The primary weapon is human waste. Feces are teeming with bacteria, viruses, and parasites like E. coli, salmonella, and norovirus, the cruise ship nightmare bug that becomes a household-ending plague grid down. Cholera, a disease that causes such severe diarrhea a person can dehydrate and die in hours, spreads through contaminated water. While less common in the US, the bacteria that causes it exists, and outbreaks have followed sanitation failures across the world. Urine, while sterile leaving a healthy body, is not harmless. Mixed with feces, it creates a chemical reaction releasing ammonia gas, attracting pests and creating a nutrient-rich slurry that's an ideal breeding ground for bacteria. Separating them is a core principle of field sanitation for a reason. And while healthy urine is sterile, if a member of your unit is sick, their urine can also contain pathogens. The second weapon is water. Not just the contaminated water outside, but the water inside your perimeter. Grey water from sinks and showers is a particular danger. It might look mostly clean, but it contains bacteria from unwashed hands and food particles. Using it for hand washing is like rinsing your hands in a diluted petri dish. The third weapon is ignorance. It's not washing hands correctly. It's preparing food too close to a waste area. It's thinking a sealed bucket is good enough without a protocol for storage and pest control. Disaster analysis shows the spike in disease from this silent threat kills more people than the initial event, and it moves faster than starvation. An outbreak of diarrheal disease after flooding in Bangladesh in 2004 led to tens of thousands of reported cases. With no doctors, no hospitals, and no IV fluids, simple dehydration becomes a lethal event. That is the reality of this war. Your opponent doesn't need guns. It just needs one small break in your defenses. Winning this war requires a strategy. It demands rigid, disciplined hygiene as critical as your perimeter defense. This is the Zoned Sanitation Protocol, or ZSP. The concept is borrowed from tactical operations and hazmat handling. Divide your stronghold into clearly defined zones to stop cross-contamination. Implementing this doctrine immediately after the grid goes down will dramatically reduce your unit's risk of a sanitation-based disease outbreak. This isn't paranoia, it's professional doctrine. The ZSP is built on one non-negotiable principle: strict separation. You will divide your living space into a red zone and a green zone. The red zone is your designated waste area. This is ground zero. It should be a location isolated from the rest of the structure. A garage, a utility room, a sturdy outdoor shed. If it must be inside, choose a room with ventilation and a door that seals. The red zone is for one purpose only: managing human waste. No rations, no potable water storage, no unauthorized traffic. The path to and from this zone is considered contaminated. The green zone is the opposite. This is your clean sector. It includes your kitchen, ration storage, potable water supply, and sleeping quarters. Here you enforce maximum hygiene. This is where you live. The boundary between the green and red zones must be absolute. Nothing crosses from red to green without being decontaminated. This protocol is a tactical procedure for survival. Here are the 5 critical steps to deploying it. Step 1. Secure and isolate the existing threat. First, neutralize your existing bathrooms. Your flush toilet is now a Trojan horse. The water in the bowl is a stagnant pond of bacteria, and the trap holding back sewer gas will dry out. First, shut off the water supply valve to every toilet. Turn it clockwise. This prevents anyone from causing a backup if the sewer main is compromised. Next, take heavy-duty plastic sheeting and cover the entire toilet. Use duct tape to create an airtight seal. This blocks sewer gases and serves as a powerful visual cue. This fixture is out of commission. Finally, secure the bathroom door. Post a sign: "Contaminated, do not enter." You are decommissioning this area. It is no longer a bathroom, it is a monument to a collapsed system. Step 2. The twin bucket system, your frontline defense. With the old system secured, you will establish its replacement in the heart of your red zone. The most effective field sanitation method is the twin bucket system. This isn't just a bucket. It's a system designed to manage waste by separating liquids from solids. This separation is critical. It drastically reduces odor, slows decomposition, and makes the waste far less attractive to pests. Here is the build-out for your frontline defense. You need 2 5-gallon buckets with tight-fitting lids, heavy-duty contractor bags, an absorbent carbon material, and a snap-on toilet seat. Bucket number 1 is for solids. Label it solids, or number 2. Line it with a contractor bag. Before first use, add a few inches of your carbon material, sawdust, cat litter, peat moss, or even dry dirt. This carbon is your secret weapon. After each use, the user must cover the new waste with another scoop of carbon material. This is non-negotiable. It absorbs moisture and controls odor. Keep the lid sealed tight. For compliance, snap on a toilet seat or slit a pool noodle lengthwise and fit it around the rim. Bucket number 2 is for liquids. Label it liquids or number 1. This bucket is used as is. The key is to keep it separate. The mixture of urine and feces generates the most noxious odors. Keep this bucket lidded. When full, the contents can be diluted 10.1 with water and used as fertilizer on non-edible plants, far from your garden or water sources. In an urban environment, you may have to store it in sealed containers for later disposal. All used toilet paper goes into the solids bucket, never the liquids bucket. A unit of 4 will take about a week to fill a 5-gallon solids bucket. We just covered the core of your new sanitation doctrine. This is critical intelligence. Getting it right is everything. If you value this tactical brief, subscribe and activate notifications. Our next transmission covers off-grid medical care when there's no doctor. You don't want to miss it. Now, let's get to the crucial next step, waste disposal. Step 3, waste disposal. The final objective. Collection is only half the battle. Storage and disposal is where most plans fail. Your red zone now contains biohazardous material. FEMA guidelines are clear. This material must be stored securely, away from heat, to prevent pest and environmental contamination. For short-term storage, the filled solids bags must be tied off securely, then placed inside a second bag for double containment. Store these double-bagged parcels in your red zone inside a secure container, like a metal trash can with a locking lid. This stops pests from chewing through. Do not let these bags pile up in the open. For long-term disposal, you will need to use the earth. The established method is a cat hole or a larger trench latrine. The rules are strict, based on decades of public health data. Waste must be buried at least 100 feet away from any water source, wells, streams, or lakes. It must also be 100 feet from your food garden or living quarters. The hole for a single-use cat hole should be 6 to 8 inches deep. A larger trench latrine should be long and narrow and dug 2 to 5 feet deep. After depositing waste, you must cover it completely with the excavated soil. Always keep a shovel next to the latrine for this purpose. This isn't about hiding it. It's about stopping the spread of disease by flies. And a critical safety note, stabilize the edge of any trench. A fall into a waste trench is a fatal accident. Step 4. The decon station, your primary firewall. The most important barrier between the red and green zones is your hand-washing station. The CDC states that washing hands with soap and water is one of the most effective ways to prevent diarrheal and respiratory illnesses and can reduce diarrheal disease-associated deaths by up to 50%. Hand sanitizer is a backup, not a substitute, especially when hands are visibly soiled. Your hand-washing station must be in the green zone, positioned as a decontamination point for anyone exiting the red zone. It is a mandatory stop. No exceptions. To build it, you need a water container with a spigot, like a beverage jug. Below it, A bucket to catch the grey water. Do not let this water pool on the ground. Next to it, have soap. A bar in a mesh bag hung from the spigot works well. Finally, have a method for drying hands, like a designated clean towel. The procedure is unwavering. After every single visit to the red zone, before touching anything else, you proceed directly to the decon station and wash for at least 20 seconds. This single act is the linchpin of the entire zoned sanitation protocol. It is the firewall that stops the enemy. Step 5. Your disinfection arsenal. Your final layer of defense is active disinfection. Your most powerful ally is simple, unscented household bleach. You must know how to use it. Bleach solutions must be made fresh daily, as the chlorine loses potency within 24 hours. You need 2 concentrations. First, a surface disinfectant solution. This is for cleaning surfaces in your green zone, food prep counters, and the hand washing station. The ratio is 1 tablespoon of bleach per gallon of water. Wipe down all critical surfaces at least once a day. Second, a decontamination solution. This is a much stronger 110 bleach-to-water mix used for sterilizing equipment. Use it to disinfect the shovel used for burial and the outside of the sealed waste buckets before transport or storage. This is for hard equipment only. A critical warning: never mix bleach with ammonia or cleaners containing it. This creates toxic chloramine gas. Stick to plain, unscented bleach and water. Drill this protocol with your unit. Everyone must understand the zones. Everyone must know the procedures for the twin buckets and the decon station. Post signs. Make it routine. In the biological war, discipline is survival. The grid is down. The world outside your perimeter is hostile. But one of the most lethal threats is already inside, waiting for a single mistake. Your toilet, once a symbol of convenience, is now a liability. It does not have to be a death sentence. By understanding the threat, by recognizing you are fighting a biological war, you can take action. The Zoned Sanitation Protocol is a professional-grade procedure for neutralizing disease. By establishing red and green zones, deploying the twin bucket system, managing waste with discipline, mandating strict decon protocols, and employing a robust disinfection routine, you transform your home from a biohazard into a sanitary fortress. You have the intelligence, you have the battle plan. The simple hygiene errors that can kill a prepared family are preventable. The power is in your hands. This is not about fear, it's about control. It's about ensuring your unit not only survives, but thrives with health and dignity intact. What is your primary concern for long-term, off-grid sanitation? Leave it in the comments. The community learns from every field report. If this brief was useful, give it a thumbs up and transmit it to anyone who needs this critical intelligence. Stay prepared. Stay healthy. We'll see you for the next brief.